Hello and welcome. This fifth grade math video is going to be about expanded form. So the expanded form of a number is where we take a number and then we rewrite it as an addition expression of its values. For example, what if we were given this expression, 600,000 plus, or sorry, that's 6,000,000, 100,000 plus 10,000 plus 4,000 plus 200 plus 60 plus 6. So this is an addition expression that is adding together the values of each digit in the place value chart. So we can rewrite this from what this is, expanded form, into standard form. So what I want to do is start with my biggest number that I have here, and that would be this one, the 6,000,000. So I'm going to start by putting a 6 in the millions place, but instead of putting zeros, I'm just going to put 6 spaces instead. So 1, 2, 3, comma, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now that I've included this one in my standard form, now I'm going to look at the next number, which has a 1 in the hundred thousands place. So that's what I'm going to put in the hundred thousands place here. But I'm not going to write the zeros. I'm just going to leave the rest of the spaces blank. So I'm going to cross that out. The next number I have is 10,000, and that means there's a 1 in the 10,000s place. So I'm going to go ahead and put that here for my standard form number and cross this out. My next number is 4,000. So I'm going to put a 4 in the thousands place and cross this off. 200 means I have 200. So I'm going to put that there. 60 means I have 6 tens. So I'll put a 6 in the tens place and 6 ones over here. So I'll put a 6 in the ones place. So rewriting this expanded form into standard form means that it's 6,114,266. And just like we can take numbers from expanded form to standard form, we can also take them from standard form to expanded form. So let's practice doing that. Let's take another expanded form and rewrite it into standard form. So I'm going to start with the biggest number in the expression, which is right here, and that's 2,000,000. So I'm going to write a 2 and put it in the millions place. But instead of all the zeros, I'm going to leave 6 blank spaces for other digits. And then maybe I cross this off so I know that I'm finished with it. The next term that I have is 500,000, which means there's a 5 in the hundred thousands place. And then I can go ahead and cross that off because I already have all the blank spaces that I need. The next term is 10,000, which means I have a 1 in the 10,000s place. So I'll put that there and then cross that off. The next term is 1,000. So I'll put a 1 in the thousands place and cross that off. Then I have 700, so I'll put a 7 in the hundreds place. Then I have 80, so I'll put an 8 in the tens place. And very last, I have 7 ones, so I'll put a 7 in the ones place. So this number written in standard form is 2,511,787. Okay, here's our next one. We're going to write this number in standard form from expanded form to standard form. So my largest term that I have is right here, 1,000,000. So I'm going to put a 1 in the millions place. And again, instead of the zeros, I'm going to put 6 blank spaces. So as many spaces as there are zeros in that largest term. Then I would have 400,000. So I'll put a 4 in the hundred thousands place. And again, I can cross these off if it helps. Then I have 10,000. So I'll put a 1 in the 10,000s place. I have 4,000. So I'll put a 4 in the thousands place. I have 800, so I'll put an 8 in the hundreds place. I have 80, so I'll put an 8 in the tens place. And then that's it. That's all I have. So if you go through your expanded form and you've put everything in the right place and you have an empty spot, in that empty spot goes a 0. So this number written in standard form would be 1,414,880. Okay, so here's our next one. We're going to write this number from expanded form to standard form. So again, I'm going to start with my biggest term right here, which is the 7,000,000. So I'm going to put a 7 in the millions place, and I'm going to follow it with 6 spaces instead of 6 zeros. Then I'm going to jump down over here to 90,000, which means I put a 9 in the 10,000s place. So this is where it gets tricky. Make sure that 9 goes in the 10,000s place, not the 100,000s place. And then I'm going to cross that off. Next, I have 4,000, so I'm going to put a 4 in the thousands place. 300 puts a 3 in the hundreds place. 80 puts an 8 in the tens place. And 6 puts a 6 in the ones place. So now that I'm done with all the terms, you can see that I have a blank spot. I have no 100,000s in this number. So I'm going to represent that with a 0 right there. So this number written in standard form would be 7,094,386. Okay, here's our next practice problem. Now we can see here that this one's a little bit different. They give us the final number in standard form, and they give us most of the expanded form, but what they're asking us for is what's missing. Okay, so let's kind of look at this. Well, let's look at the standard form number to give us a hint. The standard form number has a 2 in the 100 millions place. So if I look over here at this term, that also has a 2 in the 100 millions place. So I know that that is not our missing number. If I look here, I see we have a 4 in the millions place, and then this term is representing 4 million. So that is taken care of. The only one that's not taken care of over here or included is the 5. That 5 is in the thousands place, which means it represents 5,000. So that was the missing term from our expanded form here. Okay, here is our next one. Again, we have a missing term, and this one looks very similar to the last one, but the missing term is different. So let's go look and see what we have. Let's look at the total number that we have, and then we'll look to see which term may be missing. So this number has a 2 in the 100 millions place, and this term over here is 200 million. So that is taken care of and represented there. This is a 4 in the 10 millions place. And this term right here represents 40 million. So that one is represented. The only other term that is not represented is a 9 in the 10,000s place. So that would have a value of 90,000 and need, oh, those zeros are not looking good. Let's retry those. 90,000. There we go. So that would be the missing term from the expanded form. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you in another video soon.